What up, YouTube? This is Carlos Talamantes. So I'm not going to be going to YCS Pasadena after all. However, yeah, I did want to put out a deck list out there and also discuss a little bit how I feel like the deck should be played, or at least a direction. For those of you who may want help in trying to figure out the best balance of things, yeah, I want to be able to give that input, and hopefully it helps somebody out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put out the deck profile. I went to the tournament today, and in total, with tournament and also full matches that we tested with time, I went about 8-1 today. Tested against Branded, Bestial, Eldritch, tested against Tier Element, Bestial, stuff. I tested against Sprite. I went X1 in the tournament as well. So the deck is very strong, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the Bestial cards can hurt sometimes, but instead of trying to find an answer to everything, sometimes you got to lean more towards your strengths and do the best that you can with what you have. So we're going to go into this profile, and we're going to try to discuss a direction, at least. So let's get to it. The deck worked very, very good. I don't have, disclaimer, I don't have all the cards that I would like to play, but I will talk about them. So obviously the hero lineup, 3 Stratos, the Liquid, Ferris Vision Heroes, still the 1. My only loss today was opening up the 1. So I lost because I got Joel and Lockbird. I got evenly matched and everything, and I still couldn't play through it because of this guy. I almost did. I was like 1 resource short. He effect veilered my last push. So Destiny Hero package with the Dark Angel. And the MVP of today, Crosskeeper. I know I played it in another video, but I'll explain more about this later. So my only true going second cards are triple droplets, and I'll explain a little bit about that later. 3 Mass Change, 3 A Hero Lives, 3 Fusion Destiny, 3 Miracle Fusions, one of the best cards in the deck. I will talk a little bit about that as well. Polymerization, Rhoda. And for today's tournament, I decided to play the 3 rivalries. And so I guess we'll just start getting into this. Dark Angel was solid. I'll continue to play it. I like it, although I kind of dislike the fact that I had to decide between these two. But when you're playing through disruptions, sometimes it's best to try to go for the Dark Angel instead. Plasma, I'll touch on it more later because there's a few cards that I want to show you guys that might be good alternatives to playing this deck. But 3 Crosskeeper, man, I really just can't say enough about this card. The thing with this is just being that extra body, being that extra extender. When you're playing against Tier Elements, you're going to get your Malicious hit, your Denier hit by Bestial cards or Seiju cards. And so you need to find some type of way that complements your engine and it allows you to keep on pushing forward. So Crosskeeper was one of those ways. Being able to get to Mass Change, being able to get to Droplet, being able to get to Rivalry and other cards, it allows you to continue to push through your plays. Oftentimes what I would do is I would lead with my Ferris play instead of summoning Stratos. And beforehand, that was so bad because your Ferris play is one of the most important parts. But if you lead with your Ferris play, if you open up a Mass Change play, or if you open up a Crosskeeper with your Shadow Mist, then if they have the Haveness, then you'll be able to chain and get Dark Law, and so that way your plays will go through a lot more efficiently without being disruptive. And then also on top of that, Dark Law becomes a pseudo Azathoth in a way against the Tier Element strategy. So you stop all their main. Obviously, it doesn't hit the hand traps and stuff like that, but you hit all the important, crucial parts of their engine. So being able to play off of the mass changes are really good. I can't tell you how many times I drew 4, and being able to draw into these important cards made it completely insane. So there's that. Dark Angel, I will probably continue to play it, but it can be something else. Now, talking about the rivalry, I like this card a lot. When I opened it and I went first, I won almost every time. There are cards that will, they can use to get around these things. However, I kind of would want this to be something a little bit more proactive. I like triple tactical talents a lot right now. I think that card will be amazing in this deck. Being able to draw 2 off a liquid, draw 2 off a crosskeeper, being able to draw 2 off of talents, and also play through your opponent's board. You don't really care too much about the hand, even though that's an amazing effect. But if you can talents take their stuff and push through the Rukulos and everything, then you'll be able to kill them right there and then. They only have so many disruptions on field. So I like talents. I'll touch on some more cards in a few moments. So let's move on. Also, Miracle Fusion. The majority of people that used to say Miracle Fusion was bad in a brick, that was mostly when you had, Dystopia as your main target for Fusion Destiny, and a hero lives with that one. Now, with these 6 cards and these 3, you can always get this card to the grave. So boards that you make, say if you put up your Dark Angel and you don't have the rivalry, you can easily make boards of Sunrise, DPE, Dystopia, and you're able to make a Dark Law with it and give them this. So you're able to have 2 pops around their summons and have everything banished with Dark Law. So it's just too much follow-up. This all day, every single tournament that I played, it becomes too overwhelming again for my opponent because I always have a play. It makes it to where sometimes you may want a 3rd Cross Crusader because you're able to have that extender. You're getting a free fusion, you're always replacing the card, and you always have follow-up. So being able to push through those things, giving you more options, makes it to where you don't lose as hard to the Bestial cards because you're always able to get those extra bodies. So YCS tokens, extra deck, Cross Crusader, Winter Driver, one of the best cards in the extra deck. I love this card. I use it every time going first. There's not a time where I don't use it going first. Especially if you want to make the best Dark Angel lock, you want to be able to have this card and be able to go for any specific board that you want. I needed a 3rd Cross Crusader today, which is crazy. So Dark Law, Sunrises, Tornado, Shining, 0. Okay, so you don't need the Tornado. I went into it once actually to go for game. That's about it. DPE, Dystopia, Time Card, and also you actually do use it, especially with 3 Fusion Destiny. Trinity for game shots, and then this can come up because you're, for one, we're in that type of format, but 2, you're able to hero lives, and if I got drolled 3 times today, and then I'm able to make this and then sit on it and then save my resources. So down to the side, you got your whole artifact package, 3 Solemn Judgments. This won me a match today. Dark Rulers, and then your back row hate. Okay. Did I stop? Okay, sorry. So the Dark Rulers you may not need, and the Solemn Judgments you may not need. These are your main flex spots right here. Everything else I love. Personally, right now, I like Regeki. I like Regeki, Mind Control, Change of Heart. If you're going to this YCS, those are cards that you might want to consider. Especially Regeki. Regeki, just being able to have that shot to kill your opponent is very, very good right now. I like this though also because, people still try to sight in stuff against you. People have their Lightning Storms, and I got Lightning Storm today, but I had Solemn Judgment, and that ended up sealing the game right there. Plus, it's good when you go first against Flunder and stuff like that. The artifact stuff is still very strong. You make DP in your combo anyways, so having something like this makes it to where you don't care if you hard open one. I had one match where I opened up both of these. I made Dystopia and I made DPE, and I was able to just pretty much win that way. Obviously, Sunrise, you got triple Miracle Fusion, so you're always able to boost the Dystopia. So one thing that I want to talk about real quick is the fact that tier is just so crazy. You want to have different flexible options, because you're not always going to have to be, you can't always rely on the malicious and denier play anymore, unfortunately. So having cards like Crosskeeper makes it to where you can utilize other cards more effectively. And one card to possibly think about is one copy of Mass Change Second. Just being able to have that one card increase, if not two cards of this, might be able to be enough for when they're trying to go for their Havness plays to interrupt and get their stuff going and get their Rukulos on the board. This can be something that's devastating to them. So this is one card to think about if you're going to this YCS. Another card, like I said, Regeki. Very, very good card right now. I might be citing it going forward. Another tech is D-Force. So if you decide not to play the Dark Angel, this is actually a very good card, because it almost serves the same purpose as the Dark Angel plays, because it stops all the runic cards, and if not, it does it better, because you're able to stop, like I said, all the runic cards. You're able to have Plasma to stop their Jet Search. So if they're going to smashes you, one, they're not going to hit, they have DPE Dark Law to deal with at that point. But then on top of that, you are negating all their board. So it serves the same purpose. Plus the Kaleido Heart and so many other cards, the Celiac, I believe, it all targets. So that stops that. One thing that I did want to cover about this, what a lot of people might not be thinking of, is the Shizu and Bestial cards. So this card in Engine can potentially help you extend further past those disruptions. And the reason why I say that is because when you're going for your Ferris combo, what you can do is you can get your Malicious banished by a Bestial cards, and then you follow up with Fusion Destiny, sending the Plasma and the Nair, and then you de-force your Plasma back. Then on top of that, you use the Denier to put back your Malicious. So all these things, you can do to work around it. So what a lot of people wanted to see is the main card that I was really talking about in my post earlier, and that's Branded Regain. So the reason why I really like this card right now, and I was only able to pick up one of it at the for today's tournament. I need two more, otherwise I would. So that way I could play three. I didn't play this today only because I didn't want to rely on drawing a hard drawing on one of. But what this card does is it helps you play through the Bestial cards. So if you have your Ferris combo, if you have Fusion Destiny, you start off with this, and then you do your plays. And if they hit your Malicious, if they hit your Denier, you just put it back and you draw a card. Then if they don't have Bestial cards, then what you do is you do your Ferris combo. This is already on board. You banish your Malicious, special summon Malicious, this triggers, put back your Malicious, and you got an extra special summon, and you got to draw a card. So this becomes an in-engine type of extension. So it makes your Wonder Driver plays better, makes Plasma more consistent, and as consistent as your deck already is, you're always going to get to Malicious. That's your main thing. So there's so much more that I can talk about with this card, but the only thing this doesn't technically play around is the Shizu cards. And the thing about this is it does help you extend, get advantage, and you could do it on your turn or their turn, and you can continuously draw. Because if you're playing the Miracle Fusions, if you're playing Vion, if you're playing all these other cards, you're always going to be able to banish a light or a dark. And so you're able to go for your Sunrise play next turn, and then you're able to put back what you banished. So that's pretty much what I wanted to go over. There's so much more that I can go off. I might have to make another video another time just talking about the direction for the deck, but I have a feeling this video is getting pretty long. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I do want to answer those questions, and if not, hit me up on Facebook. It's one of the easiest ways that I can communicate with people. There's so many more texts, so many different things that I want to discuss to help people for this YCS. So have a good night, y'all.